bill.
Senate Bill 1016 related to transportation of personal belongings of foster children.
Recognize Senator Sollman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President and colleagues, I rise before you today in support of Senate Bill 1016. Now, in 2023, we passed Senate Bill 548. This bill is necessary to update that it provides complete clarity to the agency for the language in 548, explicitly saying that the department may not use trash bags to transport a foster child's personal effects. It also provides clarity to the foster youth that they matter, that we see them, and that Oregon does not tolerate giving trash bags out to children that are already experiencing the layers of trauma. Colleagues, I wish I didn't have to continue to work on this bill. This is an absolute travesty that we have to continue to provide clarity to DHS and to make sure that this bill is what we intended, to make sure that trash bags are not handed to children. This has been years been working on this. This is at the prompting of a former constituent, Seema Stephanie, who has spent years trying to ensure dignity through duffels for our foster youth. She is not the only nonprofit in the state that works on these issues. This is simply sending a message that we needed to be very specific, to say, and DHS provided some language because we did learn that there were certain circumstances that that children may have to have a tote provided, and maybe perhaps then items can be cleaned and sanitized, then placed in a duffel bag, and then given to them with their belongings. This is something that I hope we never have to come back and discuss again. But unfortunately, when I hear from advocates, just like all of the response that all of us need to do, if it needs this correction because trash bags are still given, then we need to provide this very direct clarity to DHS. And colleagues, I urge an aye vote. Thank you.
And thank you, Senator. Additional discussion. Recognize Senator McLean.
Thank you. I want to commend the work of my friend, the senator from District 15. I vote no today, not because of to contest anything she just said, but I vote no because I'm bewildered why our current governor has not acted. I'm bewildered why our previous governor has not acted. This is the executive branch and the incompetency showed by an agency under the governor's authority. Now, our Constitution provides 3 separate but equal branches. The fact that we have to come here and pass a bill, as my friend just said, because an agency wanted clarity, or in the alternative, because an agency didn't want to comply with a statutory directive. Well, I'd ask Governor Kotek, why do we need this bill when you have complete authority to get this done? An executive order or a good old-fashioned dressing down of the director of DHS would have done the job. When I grew up, we used to have a phrase, looks like you need to be taken to the woodshed. It looks like this agency and its director need to be taken to the woodshed. That's the role of the governor. Her failure and the agency's failure is why our colleague from District 15 has had to go to work. Our colleagues elsewhere have had to go to work. I'm a no, not because of to contest again anything my friend from District 15 just said, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the governor has not acted. Now, the governor, presumably, if she agrees, will sign this bill. Well, Governor, if you're taking the time to sign this bill, you could have taken the time to sign an executive order. You couldn't taken the time to bring in an agency director and take that director to the woodshed. Colleagues, I'm voting no. I'm not going to urge anyone to vote however they are, but I am going to take this time and say to the governor, do your job.
Thank you, Senator. Discussion on the measure. Recognize Senator Robinson.
I also am a no. I'm hesitant about it's extremely strict. I think there are some circumstances in which you might want to use a trash bag, but I agree that it's all a travesty that this is going on, and I think it's a symptom. If you're moving a child's belongings, you're moving a child, and we don't care enough about the child to provide them with decent carriers, that's not good. And I don't think you can fix it by just removing the trash bags. I completely agree they should not be used except when necessary, and we should show these children more respect. But I'm a no for that reason, but I also am appreciative that the senator from District 15 is working on the problem because we obviously have a severe problem with this agency. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Additional discussion. Recognize Senator Manning, Jr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't normally rise, or usually I try to not comment on bills, but I have to say SB 1016A is really important. I remember when I was privileged to be on the Human Services Committee with my good friend from Corvallis as the chair, and we passed this measure. The unfortunate part about it is that I didn't look at it long enough to understand that there was a sunset to it. So this bill actually removes the sunset and make this as a permanent measure moving forward. I think that my focus has always been on the kids, the impact that they experience being homeless, being transported from one place to another. This is a matter of dignity and respect for me. You know, I am not concerned about anybody else, but what I can do at this moment to make sure that those kids, whatever the situation that they have come into, are treated with dignity and respect. And that includes clean clothes. Could be just as simple as that. We're looking at some of these kids will be perhaps making legislation one day. How we treat them now will be a direct reflection about how they will act in the future. So, colleagues, I urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Additional discussion on the measure. Recognize Senator Meek.
Thank you, Mr. President. I didn't speak on the foster child bill last week. It had plenty of attention given to it. And I appreciate the good senator from District 7 mentioning that someday a foster child may be on this floor presenting and passing legislation, because I am one of them. But this state is causing irreparable harm and damage to these poor children that the Department of Human Services is supposed to be providing for these very vulnerable and I would say helpless children. So when we say, grab your stuff, here's a garbage bag, you're garbage, you're trash, and we're gonna take you on over here to this other place to see if we can house you a little longer. It is very frustrating to me, and I agree that Department of Human Services from the top to the bottom should be doing their utmost to care for these children. It is sickening to me that we even have to talk about this. We don't fund it enough, but, and I have to give a shout out to a wonderful organization in Clackamas, Bloomin' Boutique. When a child is placed anywhere in the city or anywhere near them into a foster home, that parent can apply, and those kids get brand new shoes, a brand new pillow, and clothes, and a jacket, and a decent apparatus to carry their clothes in. And you know what? It makes them feel good about being in that school, not feeling isolated, not feeling marginalized. So let's get this right, fellas and ladies and gentlemen, members. And I'm proud to be here, but it took a lot of work, and it took a lot of time to get over the inadequacies I had, but I want those children to know that they can be somebody from the top to the bottom, so thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Additional discussion? Seeing no additional discussion, Senator Sollman, do you wish to close? She does not. The question now rises upon the third reading and final passage of Senate Bill 1016A. Those who have the opinion the bill should be passed will answer aye as their names are called. Those opposed, no. The clerk will please call the roll.
Reynolds, Robinson, Brock Smith, Sollman, Starr, Taylor, Thatcher, Weber, Woods, Anderson, Bonham, Broadman, Campos, Frederick, Gelser-Bluen, Girard, Golden, Gorsuch, Hayden, Jama, Lieber, Linthicum, Manning, McLean, Meek, Nash, Patterson, Pham, Przonski, President Wagner.
Aye.
Excused, Reynolds, Woods, voting nay, Linthicum, McLean, Robinson, 25 ayes.
Senate Bill 1016A, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed.